Hey folks, welcome back to everyone's favorite game show, Speculation Vision. I'm joined by my favorite fake nerds, Darcy Lewis, Jimmy Woo, Sparks Witty, Ben Magnet, and Brandon T. McClure. What the fuck's going on in the show, you guys? Let's find out together in this week's episode of WandaVision.
Hi, everyone.
Shalom.
Oh, was that too energetic for you guys? I'm sorry.
That was good. No. It was good. It was good.
I gotta meet you. You don't gotta meet me. I gotta meet you.
You're right.
This episode definitely cemented for me that I'm glad we went to one a week.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
Because everything that we talked about last week, about half of it went out the window.
Yeah. I had a feeling. I think we talked I figured this was what the episode was going to be, and you were kind of less on it. But I was like, I didn't think we would get Darcy this soon. I didn't think we would get what do the hexagons mean? I didn't think we would go full into it. This was the episode. If you aren't into it, this is the episode to get you in.
If I recall correctly, it's that we were discussing, I thought it would still start with the sitcom. We weren't going to go full to the outside world yet. Yeah. And a lot of you and I think the others were saying, it'll start in the outside world, but we'll still go back into we just mostly stayed in the outside world.
Yeah.
I looked at this. I was like, we interrupt this program, which is the title of the episode, to bring you a 30 minutes of a Marvel movie.
But in no world would I have predicted the opening of this episode.
Yeah.
Which is Monica Rambeau being unblipped.
Holy shit. Here's the thing. I was high when I watched this the first time. So I spent the first 10 minutes of the episode after all the commotion wondering, what did I just see? What? Did she get her powers? What happened? And then I was like, oh, she was snapped.
Yeah. That's a really good scene. It's not just a good scene because it's completely different than the rest of the episodes we've gotten, but it's giving us something that we've been asking for since Infinity War. What happened? The Hulk or excuse me, Endgame. Hulk snapped his fingers and everyone came back. What does that mean? No one knows what that means. We kind of got an idea now. It's chaos.
It was chaos.
It's nuts,
especially in a hospital.
God, I can't even imagine. Where have you been?
Can you think of the amount of people Monica crashes into a dude in the hall in the hospital? I'm like, how many people got hit by a car?
How many people got fused together? What's the ramification?
There's a person there's a bed being rolled over and the person is being unblipped onto that bed.
Yeah. Luckily nobody was on that bed.
Was there someone else on that bed? Do people land on top of each other?
There was a person taking a nap where now there's a Peloton and they're unblipping around the Peloton.
Yeah. It was a nice little glimpse into what happened when all that shit happened. And then Sparks made the good point of oh right, there's a big battle happening a couple miles away maybe. Thanos is killing all these fools.
At this exact moment, some bad shit's happening.
Thor is bearded up. Yeah.
No, I have to remember it. I did not go back to watch Far From Home, but Far From Home is 6 months after Endgame, right?
It's sure. I don't remember if it's exactly 6 months, but it's a while.
It's enough time, yeah.
Which puts WandaVision before Far From Home.
I don't know if it puts the show before Far From Home.
Well, she says she goes back to work 3 weeks after she was unblipped.
No, 3 years.
3 weeks after she was unblipped.
It was her mom who died 3 years ago.
No, I'm saying when she comes back to life, when Monica Rambeau is unblipped, is back.
Yeah.
She goes to work for S.W.O.R.D 3 weeks after that moment we see her in the hospital.
Gotcha. Yeah. Getting back, yeah.
Theoretically, it's only 3 or 4 weeks that this episode takes place.
I mean, that is true. Yeah. I think again, with this show, there's just not enough information, but I think you might be right. It's happening very quickly after those events. Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild. That's wild to me.
Yeah, the timeline's getting a little funkier.
Well, but Wanda went from Tony Stark's funeral to New Jersey, and that's where we're at now.
He's like, yeah, I just saw my friend die. Let's go start a family.
Yeah, I'd have to watch. I only saw this episode once.
Yeah.
I wondered about timeline stuff, so we'll see.
That's an interesting aspect, though. Yeah. And also, you brought up, I thought they said that S.W.O.R.D was established during the blip, but no, apparently S.W.O.R.D has been around longer than that. So
I was surprised by that too.
That's a secret. I don't know if maybe it's not a secret. It's just we haven't seen S.W.O.R.D. Maybe it's been around intertwined with S.H.I.E.L.D. We just haven't seen it yet.
Well, what I'm so interested in is like, what was S.W.O.R.D, because they do mention that S.W.O.R.D's name was changed because they don't go out in space anymore. So they did go out into space beforehand. How long have they been doing this?
Monica, she's grounded, terrestrial own. Like, she's been in space. Monica's doing space shit. There's some, like, obviously with Nick Fury and Far From Home, they're doing space shit. So like, there's an entire aspect that I just don't think we've seen yet.
But
like,
there's been around. But we assumed that Nick Fury will start S.W.O.R.D because of that end sequence in Far From Home. We did not think for a moment that S.W.O.R.D has been around perhaps since the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. or even earlier.
Since Captain Marvel, because it takes place at the same place Captain Marvel's movie took place in New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's the same airplane hangar. Like, so like, I think it's kind of like a thing where like S.H.I.E.L.D's always been around. We just didn't hear about it until the movies happened. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just like we're gonna get a heavy dose in the next couple of years.
I think this does bear a question that maybe will get answered eventually, which is how many times did Captain Marvel come back to Earth?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. Because I no longer believe with them having S.W.O.R.D having been established that Captain Marvel was the last time Fury saw her.
Yeah,
and Maria
I don't think that's true anymore.
Surely Maria would have had help from Carol starting S.W.O.R.D in some way.
Yeah, you'd assume,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that one, Sparks. I think perhaps Carol has been to Earth a few times. We just haven't seen it. We just don't know.
Yeah. Because again, like if it's not like a big intergalactic threat, she could have just came and stopped by and just say hello. Like, that's not important to the war or whatever, you know.
What are these Avengers? That's so weird.
Yeah.
If I were to hazard a guess, Captain Marvel, like, maybe at best came back just after the events of Iron Man and would have been the last time that she was back to Earth.
Yeah.
So she hadn't been back throughout the Avengers stuff.
Yeah, she missed the Avengers shit because I feel like she would have been like, oh, I should check that out.
Like literally Fury being like, we got it.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was his whole plan because he knew Carol wouldn't be back for a while or something.
Yeah, he figured he can handle it on Earth. Yeah,
that's why he created the Avenger Initiative.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Again, I love that you kind of corrected me. Miss Marvel takes place in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And like again, I was like, not everything has to be tied, but then you were like, yeah, of course it's tied together. And I'm like, well, yeah, why wouldn't it be tied together? Yeah, you're right. Miss Marvel's literally the next thing like coming.
Well, if they're not going to do the Inhuman route, because they may not want to, or for some reason, this would be the next best way to do it.
Again, like the more episodes going, people are like, is this how they introduce mutants? And I'm still not sure, but if they mention heavy radiation multiple times, and that's something that happened in Endgame too, where like there was like a big amount of radiation or something. I'm like, I could see them slipping it in, and like people like just around the world become mutants out of nowhere. And again, it's not exactly what I want, but like they thought mentioned radiation a lot. And
I could see. Here's the thing: I don't want Miss Marvel to be a mutant. I remember when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was coming out and everybody was an Inhuman. I was sick of that. Like, not everyone needs to be an Inhuman.
But she is an Inhuman. And do we want to go back to that well? That's the problem.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, I could see, now I'm kind of going around to, like, perhaps this could make more mutants.
Yeah.
I don't say, like, I'm not going to say, like, all mutants. Like, if Charles Xavier and Eric Lensher are in this franchise, which they probably will be down the line.
Yeah,
I don't want them to be like newly created mutants. I want them to have been mutants for decades or years.
I mean, that's long been the problem with what we've talked about with the mutants, is that you kind of have to either completely reinvent Charles and Eric, or you can't do them.
It's the same like what they did it with Iron Man and they did it with Punisher. They updated their origins. Instead of being at Vietnam, it's the Iraq War and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying I need Eric to be a Holocaust survivor. He'd be 90 at this point, but still.
No, but that is literally his character. So it's it's a hard thing to deal with. Again, like, not to talk about X-Men as much as I want to talk about X-Men all the time. Like, there could be like the small amount that existed, and then like you said, like the Wanda makes him bigger, like grow out. Like the opposite of No More Mutants. Like, nah, lots of freaky people.
Yeah. That said, I don't necessarily also need Miss Marvel to be a mutant. She could just be a powered individual.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man's a mutate, not a mutant.
It would make things easier to just Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon. Let's just, Inhumans were a thing.
Yeah.
Inhumans were a thing. Here's another Inhuman.
And I, as someone who
you don't have to do a lot of work to, like, I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Agents of S.W.O.R.D, the Inhuman crystals are in the breakout Disney ride for Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, they're not unaware of putting things like that in there. That was a conscious choice. So like, you kind of got to like accept the good with the bad and be like, maybe we have to accept certain amounts of Agents of S.W.O.R.D.
And the thing is, the Inhumans rule. Spoilers, the Inhumans are actually really cool. It's just we got a really, really bad TV show. So like no one wants to touch them forever. But again, like you can do something bad and then rejuvenate it and make it cool again. Like the Inhumans are dope. And like
you can ignore Inhumans being canon and still say what happened in Agents of S.W.O.R.D. happened.
Absolutely. And like again, like you don't have to get those same characters, but like you don't Kevin Feige's so good at this. Like they're referencing things from like, Thor: The Dark World, from the bad stuff. Like everything does matter. So like Inhumans are an essential part of the Marvel universe.
The initial Miss Marvel run, and why I'm kind of going back to why I'm not always in favor of like this person becoming an Inhuman or this person becoming a mutant when they're not in the comics, is that Miss Marvel has a relationship with Lockjaw, and I like that relationship a lot in that initial run. So like you can't have Lockjaw if she's not going to be an Inhuman.
Yeah, 100%. And again, that's the thing where I feel like, again, Kevin Feige knows what he's doing. Like, he knows that Inhuman show is probably real shit, but he knows how cool Black Bolt is. So I'm sure he's trying to think of a way to slowly get back into there. And I think with Miss Marvel coming out, he's not going to ignore her origin.
Well, I mean, like, you think about it, I want to get back to the show, but you think about it from, like, the business standpoint, the Inhuman show was Ike Perlmutter's FU to Kevin after he got Marvel Studios control, because I was like, I see you got an Inhumans film coming. Well, we've been using Inhumans. I'm going to make an Inhumans TV show.
What a dick.
You can't stop me. And then it was terrible. And it's like, I didn't need to stop you. You destroyed yourself.
Yes.
So you can, but Agents of S.W.O.R.D, like, however a person may actually feel about that show, like Sam Jackson showed up on that show, which we kind of gloss over in hindsight, but like it was a big deal that Sam Jackson showed up on an ABC television show. You kind of got to accept at least certain elements of Agents of S.W.O.R.D as canon. And if we're going to do that, then you can just, Kamal Khan's an Inhuman. Like, you can just use that traction, like say that that's true.
Yeah.
It also, the fact that S.W.O.R.D has been around actually makes me feel better about Agents of S.W.O.R.D's 5-season run.
Yeah. Because
the whole point is that like S.W.O.R.D was still there, but S.W.O.R.D was kind of like, it when it was operating, it was still like, now it was public knowledge, whereas before it had been kind of subdued.
Like a secret.
Now everyone knew what S.W.O.R.D was. And so like everybody, like, it's kind of messed up when you think about it from Phil Coulson's perspective, but like Fury having Coulson running shadow operations, but also just like the public version of S.W.O.R.D in a way while they're really doing the big boy stuff with S.W.O.R.D makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's very Fury.
Almost like the X-Force, not in a violent way, but in the subterfuge way.
Because it makes the whole concept of Fury being like, yo, Coulson, take the reins of S.W.O.R.D, I'm stepping away, make a lot more sense when he's like, I'm stepping away to do something
I'm
bigger.
going to space!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which obviously Fury never stopped doing anything. We knew that because we saw him with Hill. We saw all kinds of stuff. So like first he was working with the Avengers on stuff. Now it makes sense that he was tied into S.W.O.R.D.
Yeah.
Well, that actually does make a lot of sense, because after Age of Ultron, when's the next time we see Fury? Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
I mean, if in real timeline, it'd be Infinity War when we see him with Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So like throughout that whole time, maybe that's when he's doing S.W.O.R.D and he picked up his good buddy Maria Rambeau to help.
Yeah. And Talos. I'm sure maybe Talos is
there's years between those movies.
So yes, that's true. However, I think Maria Rambeau's involvement would have come earlier. They basically imply that they're setting her up to be the Peggy Carter of S.W.O.R.D.
Yes.
She's very foundational to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that probably started with her and Fury a long time ago. S.W.O.R.D just became more important when S.H.I.E.L.D. fell apart after Winter Soldier.
I wouldn't be surprised if S.W.O.R.D like came about in the 90s, like after that shit. And then
like after Captain Marvel, they're working on it, but it's like a smaller division. But then S.H.I.E.L.D. fell through hard in a very public way.
Yeah.
And that's when they reallocated to S.W.O.R.D, which people don't know about.
Yeah.
Look at this. We got this on lock.
It's fun.
Okay, so anyway,
this episode.
That is the opening. I really like a lot of the stuff they do with setting up that story. We see Monica's not Monica, Maria's photo on the wall, which is where I'm like, this is that Peggy Carter vibe, baby. It's right here. And it's very in a similar vein of how she was considered one of the founders of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that she can't scan in because she's been blipped, so she hasn't been updated into the system for all these years. And she's like, yeah, I work here. And it's like, well, according to the past, you don't. But I'm also like, this is Captain Rambo, the daughter of like one of the founding people. You don't. I guess you're a bad
he's a new guy. He doesn't know.
He doesn't. He's not a lifer. He's just there for the paycheck.
Yeah. Can I rewind real quickly? You're talking about in that scene. I didn't mention, but the actress, I forget her name, who plays Monica. I apologize. She's incredible in that scene.
Yeah.
Like honestly. I was blown away by that moment. Seeing that kind of like raw emotion as she's trying to figure out what happened. Where is she? Where's her mom? How many years? What's going on? Like all that emotion is just running through her, and you totally get all that from the acting. I also really like how they conceptualize returning, how it's running through memories and things as we're watching someone slowly come back to existence. Essentially,
it's almost like they're like dreaming.
Teyonah Parris. Teyonah Parris. Cool.
Now, one of the things I actually liked, because if you guys remember in Spider-Man Far From Home, people just blipped back in. Whereas here, you actually see them form back from dust.
Well, we see that in Far From Home too. In the basketball game, we do see the dust come in as the guy gets hit with the basketball. It's done for more comedic effect, but it is kind of the same effect.
I remember them just like popping back into existence exactly where they were.
No, I think they have a unified dust theory going on.
Yeah, I think it's I'm pretty sure I remember it being the dust.
I think it's definitely faster because they wanted it to be funny.
Yeah.
And this is a slower motion thing because they're going for an emotional beat with it. But I do think that they're correct. I think that effect is there. It's just much more. It's also like less clear because it's also supposed to be like iPhone footage of a basketball game. So
whatever.
I get what you're saying.
But yeah, the scene that the first scene of episode 4, I absolutely love because it brought to light one of the questions that after Endgame, what happened to the normal people? I mean, yeah, when the heroes come back in the portal scene, everyone's all jumping and cheering, and then a while later, it's like, but what about like normal, everyday, average Joes? What about the people in airplanes? Are they safe on the ground, or did they just fall from the sky?
Feige did say is like when Hulk like does that, he says. The thing is, like, they always assume that it was bring everyone safely back. So if you're if you're 20,000 feet in the air, you're not going to appear 20,000 feet in the air. You'll just appear in the ground where you were the relative position you were.
Yeah. He's a smart Hulk. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not going to see a bunch of people falling from the sky.
No, I just saw a tweet about that. I saw a tweet about that earlier. It's like, was it literally raining men? No, but besides that, just the sheer chaos it was, especially in that hospital, and the sheer pandemonium of like, oh crap, people are coming back who were snapped 5 years ago, and they're like, who are you? Who are you? And then when Monica's trying to find her mom, it's like, yeah, she died 3 years ago. It's like, what are you talking about? Well, I've been asleep for like 20 minutes.
I understand why it happens because we're getting exposition and all that, but it's frankly jarring to have Monica be like the only person in the hospital who's getting like direct attention when all of this is happening. It's like, nah, everybody be running, losing their minds. Like nobody's stopping to explain shit. Not at that moment. Only in the sense that like you still have like active chaos around. And it's like
Anyway. So we're introduced to S.W.O.R.D. and then missing persons in New Jersey, and that's when I went, oh.
But it's not Wanda that's missing. Who's missing? I think it's Dottie because they didn't put the picture up and nobody saw Dottie. Nobody's looking at Dottie.
Megan brought up to me earlier, and we didn't rewatch the episode, but she's pretty sure they said that it's a he.
Oh, did they?
Missing person.
Got it. Okay.
They did.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's the dude in the witness protection program disappeared.
Got it. Okay.
So it was Jimmy Woo's informant.
Got it.
To which Megan thinks it's Ralph.
Oh yeah, because we haven't seen Ralph. Oh, that's a good point.
Could be
Ralph's husband. Yeah.
Who may or may not actually be Mephisto.
Who might be the devil.
Can I just say like how cool it was that last week we talked about how cool would it be if Jimmy Woo showed up doing a magic trick, and guess what he does?
The first thing he does, I'm meeting a captain. Magic.
Wait,
dude, killed me the first time I saw that. Are you kidding me?
Me too.
I was so happy. So happy to see Jimmy Woo just like do that
When he does it, I was like, I love this universe.
Yeah.
That's
and he was waiting. He's like, I'm gonna do it so good. She's gonna love it. I'm gonna like. He keeps practicing behind his back. Like, what a goofball! What a guy! Softball practice. Come on.
Yeah. So you said 3 weeks. This takes place 3 weeks after.
Yes.
Endgame.
I'll say 3 or 4 because I don't know how long it took her from last time we see her to go into New Jersey.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like that kind of tracks because, like, thinking back in my brain, I'm like, we do know that this spills into Spider-Man, and we know that spills into Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man 3 has to pretty much follow Spider-Man 2 pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So those events being pretty tight to each other makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, potentially.
Because Peter Parker's wanted, so how much time will have passed? Probably not a lot.
Yeah.
So that actually makes a lot of sense. So that timetable works. I really like the Jimmy Woo card thing. It shows that they are paying attention and they care.
Mm-hmm. Darcy is a doctor. Hell yeah, go Darcy.
We'll get there. So I want to talk about the cops thing.
Okay.
Because I found it confusing.
I did too.
And I need to watch it again because I don't know what that interaction
I watched it twice and I still am not sure.
Yeah, I don't think that was clear.
Unless it's straight up just intentional confusion.
Sure.
Probably
is. But they don't believe Westview exists while a sign for Westview is right behind them with a town.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't figure out the reason. And they're from Eastview.
So are they imagining this and Eastview doesn't exist? Or are they from the Westview?
So the thing is, Westview has to exist.
Yeah.
Because when they all got the protocol to go there, nobody thought that Westview, New Jersey was weird.
Yes.
So Westview is a town that exists. Mm-hmm. But these cops believe that it never existed. And they're from Eastview.
So I'm kind of with you. It is a little confusing. But doesn't Monica say to Jimmy, "How come we remember? How come we remember? Is it because we don't have any attachment to this place?"
Yeah.
So perhaps everybody who has an attachment to Westview has forgotten, has like selective amnesia about Westview.
That is what she said, like selective amnesia. I don't think that scene is executed well enough to. If that's what they're going for, I don't think it's executed well enough.
It perks up your ears to make you curious, like, oh, why do these cops believe in the town that's clearly right in front of them? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I definitely went, hold on. So wait, Westview is real, but they think that it's Eastview, and it's not here. And
then they literally just drive off. I'm like, oh, okay.
that was a little jarring, but point is that Westview exists, but now people are forgetting it.
Yeah.
People around the area are forgetting it, really.
I love that Jimmy Woo is sensitive to the Force.
Right?
Feel it.
And he knew that it didn't want him to come in.
I'd love to imagine that he doesn't feel that. He just wants to sound so dope in front of Captain Rambeau, like, the town doesn't want us here. Like he's in Twin Peaks or something, and she buys it because it is weird. But that guy, Randall Park is like just so fun and so hilarious. Like, I guess he's good at his job. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know.
But you know what? I also buy him as an FBI agent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when he's doing the breakdown, I was like, okay, now we've identified 2 people in the sitcom. Let's find everyone else. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go find everyone else. Jimmy Woo.
Was it the FBI and an Ant-Man's as well?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm mistaken.
Yeah, he was working for the FBI, making sure that Scott Lang stay on lockdown. Like, he gets high profile stuff.
No, yeah.
But he's FBI.
Gotcha.
And now he's getting roped into more and more weird shit.
I love
it. So we see the drone, which changes.
Yeah, I figured it would have been like a real helicopter that crashed, but it is just a small drone that transitioned to a small helicopter or something.
Yeah, just transitioned to a helicopter toy. And I just love how watching the sitcom as it goes on, and when he's getting the pictures, like, hey, we found a picture of that S.W.O.R.D drone, and then it's like, why'd you colorize it? I didn't. Okay, all this weird shit's going on.
Magic.
Yeah, the realization that it is essentially being the TV show is being made. We've been watching a cut and edited version of what's happening to Wanda and Vision.
Almost like live too.
We're watching the important episodes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we are told that there is stuff happening in between we're not seeing.
Yeah, like the stuff with Geraldine, there's a scene we haven't seen, which is either just from another episode, or like an episode we haven't seen, or a previous episode, just like an uncut thing.
Well, because they talk about like that they've been watching it, and they're watching like episodes, and they make references to events like continuously happening that we didn't see that because we're hitting the decade changes. That's what we're getting. We're getting like the important pivotal moments, but we're not getting the like, oh, it's just this thing continuously.
But what's so interesting is that from the moment they see the first episode to the end of the episode, it's only like 12 hours because the first major cut after Rambeau is gone, that's 24 hours to get Rambeau leaving to being introduced to Darcy. So this is really only happening for been happening for like a couple days.
Yeah, well, it feels like maybe every episode is like one a day, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe even less that, because honestly, like Monica is shot out of the thing shortly. Like they watch that happen in real time. They watch Monica leave in real time.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it is progressing very quickly. Yeah,
yeah,
The show operates on its own reality of time, but it is a sequential amount of episodes, many that we're not watching, but we're being told about.
Yeah,
Well, I wonder if Vision's timetable is real or not. Sorry, this is from the third episode when he says that Wanda's pregnant for 12 hours from one episode to the next.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, but that's also wrong because it comes quicker, and he's like, "Well, I don't know, things are weird. Like, I can't process."
No, he can't process how fast the baby's going to keep coming based off that. He's wrong. He miscalculates, but he still said how this is 12 hours since she first.
Gotcha.
Anyway, that's irrelevant. It's not important. Darcy's a doctor of astrophysics.
I was so proud of Darcy. She didn't even want to be an astrophysicist.
I love how she's
7 years.
I love how she's brought in with a whole team that we never see again.
Yeah, I love it. They're not even relevant.
No,
the chemical engineer, no one cares.
No, I love how she figures out that she needs to find an old TV, and then she watches this old sitcom.
I really like. Here's my deep dark secret about Thor 1 and 2. I really liked Kat Dennings. I really like Darcy Lewis as a character.
I don't know how that's a secret. I think anybody who even doesn't like Thor: The Dark World
likes
knows
Darcy.
Kat Dennings, though. Yeah,
I think Darcy, at least Kat Dennings, I think everyone likes her. Yeah.
I remember years ago when those movies first came out, everyone was like, "Oh, Kat Dennings was the worst part about those movies." And from day one, I was like, "No, I love her. I want more of her." Now that she's back, hell yeah.
Who do you talk to?
Yeah, those people 7 years ago. Screw those people.
Just conversations you recall when you're laying in bed in the middle of the night and can't sleep.
Yeah, I feel you.
Sure.
She loves coffee. She's able to find out shit real quick, which is cool because I don't think we'd want like 2 episodes of discovering what we already know.
Right.
I think this was.
I just couldn't believe we were getting this episode so soon. I thought this episode would come after another 2. Honestly.
That's how I felt.
I honestly felt like since it was either going to be this episode or the next one, like halfway, like. Regular people are losing their shit. They need answers. Regular people, like people on Twitter, like they either think it's super boring or they don't know what's going on. They're not used to what this is. So like this is the episode. It had to happen here or the next episode, or people were tuning out. Like a lot of people I know are like, I'm digging it, but like, what's going on? I'm like, man, you guys don't watch a lot of mystery shows, I guess, do you?
I see a lot of this. I see a lot of that stuff on. I've seen people criticize WandaVision for the structure of its story. I've seen people criticize WandaVision because they're bored of it, or I've seen people criticize WandaVision because this episode was too predictable. Which I'll get to that. But I've seen a lot of criticism of WandaVision. But to the people specifically who are like, I don't get this. What is this? Like,
you're not supposed to.
Y'all need to watch TV. Y'all need to watch more TV.
It's a mystery.
Can you imagine if Stranger Things came out weekly?
Oh my God! Honestly, it probably would have been better.
I think so, but like people would be like, nobody would have watched it. Honestly, it would have gotten 4 seasons.
Lost their minds.
Yeah.
God. Anyway, so I've seen a criticism of this episode that it is too that the answers that we were given in this episode were too predictable. I disagree because I think a lot of what we were given are red herrings.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And it's a lot.
And also,
it's also just a lot of the questions that we've been personally asking. So it's not like anything out of the realm.
Well, and also you're just catching up on the other side of the episode you've already watched.
You know what this reminded me of?
Yeah.
It's not at all connected in any way, but like, remember Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn, how there was like a flashback and then there was like a flashback and then everything came together? That's what this is. It's like, okay, we got the weird shit. Here's the stuff to catch you up for the normal people. Now we're all on the same page. Yeah. Like this episode had to happen. Otherwise, again, like regular people would be just like over the show. Because
I think so. A lot of people are saying, and I don't know if we're ready to get into this conversation, but I'll throw it out there and we'll just see. People are saying that this episode is confirmation that Wanda is in control and doing this to this town. I do not think that is true. I fundamentally disagree with that.
No,
I also disagree.
If anything, the way that it cements that Wanda is doing this cements that she's not doing this, because I know that they're not going to make Wanda the crazy lady that they did in the comics. That is such a fundamental bad way.
I agree, and I'm fully willing to admit that she is in more control than we've assumed up until now. Yes. But I think she is a hostage here, and Vision is the one. Is like, if you leave, Vision is dead.
Yeah, when we get to the Vision stuff, that makes me wonder, like, maybe, like, Wanda made a deal with some force, not knowing how bad it actually was. Yeah. She wanted a family. She wanted her husband back. She wanted a family. She maybe talks to the devil. Who knows? He's like, hey, yeah, hell, baby, I'll give you a town. You can have a family. Do what you want. And then he's going to steal the kids and like ruin her life, maybe.
Because she says they can't leave. This is their home. Making a nice, like, if Wanda was doing this, if this was Wanda's doing, why not? Mm-hmm. Why couldn't she leave?
Yeah.
Two things also about that. First off, in general, I think that we are being misled to believe that Wanda is the bad thing, just like we were misled to believe, from if you didn't know better from the end of episode 3, that Monica was the bad thing.
Sure.
So, and that was proven wrong in this episode. So, I agree. I think it's a red herring. Also, again, I go back to that scene from the end of the last episode, which is that if Wanda was in control, she wouldn't be having people in the town make Vision curious.
Yes.
She would have just had him stay oblivious to it.
Yeah.
Yes. She's not in control of Agnes, certainly.
I'd like to think that she thinks she's in control, but she's absolutely not. Like, oh, I totally got control, baby.
I also still think that Vision is alive, though.
I also agree that Vision is an alive entity. I still feel that.
I think he is an entity on his own, but if he leaves the town, he's not.
I think, yes. I guess let's just talk about it, because like we see a dead Vision, you guys.
Terrifying.
Straight up made me curl back a little bit first time I saw it. Yeah. I think Vision is dead. I do think Vision is dead. In this town, he is alive. And like you said, Brendan, anytime he leaves, that's when the magic goes off.
So what I think, because in this episode for the first time, we see what they're seeing, not what we see through a glossy screen. So we see Wanda using her magic. We see the uncut scenes. We also see Vision with alive. I think what happened was when she turned around and she saw the Vision dead. I think that was whatever is controlling this town, whatever is controlling her, being like, hey, remember what happens if you leave.
Yeah.
That was a reminder.
That's a good point.
I was much in the same place that I think my interpretation was somewhat similar to that, but it was still on like, if Wanda allows herself to remember too much about the main world, then she'll pay the price for it. And the thing is, like, she needs to allow herself to believe this is real, or she will remember things. Because the thing is, like, going back to episode 3, Pietro came out of nowhere for her.
Mm-hmm. And that messed her up.
It wasn't something where that felt like it didn't come from her suddenly remembering something. You know, that wasn't her just like, I always remember that Pietro was killed by Ultron.
Yeah.
It's like that unburied something that she allowed herself to forget in this place.
Yeah.
And in doing that, she also remembered what happened to Vision, and thus sees that again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think it also is a reminder by whatever's keeping her there, that is the cost. But I do not think, but my point being, I do not think that means Vision in this moment is that if you peel away what's happening, it just means like that's that's what will happen or what has happened.
Yeah.
Damn, that was not my interpretation when I saw that bit.
What did you think?
So I thought Wanda was controlling this. Like the whole going back to the whole Westview thing, I thought Wanda created Westview as her own like little home away from home, like her own little pocket dimension sort of thing, where Vision is alive. And
that's what they want you to think.
And of course, as she did that, that's when her powers start getting out of control. So maybe she is, but she's like partially in control, but she's not in full control like you think.
If
like
you remember House of M, in the event House of M, she's the one who does it. But then we realize after she was not in control. She was not actually. She was under the influence of Doctor Doom and some Chthon, some evil bullshit. So like even House of M, like I think that's absolutely what they're doing. Like they're not going to make Wanda the bad guy again. Again, like they cannot do that to this character. She was damaged for 15 years, and people still don't. People hate House of M, Ben. I don't know if you know this. I think House of M is a dope comic. I think it's cool. The ramifications are wild. That damaged Scarlet Witch for 15 years, and that character's been around since the 60s. Like they will not do that again to her. They will not make Wanda the sole bad guy of the show. They cannot do that to that character.
Yeah, but one of the things. So when I first thought when we saw Vision, like, oh, this is just a creation of Wanda's reality altering powers. When I saw like the dead Vision, I thought, oh shit, she took Vision's body and she is putting life into him. And if she like loses her power, then he goes back. Like the flashback scene is like, this is what happens if you don't keep using your powers.
I totally get what you're saying. But my counter to that, if that were true, we wouldn't ever see him in regular Vision makeup or in a people. We would always see him when we see the real story is happening in there because we see her magic for the first time in the series. We haven't before. We still see him in his Vision with the stone and everything. We still see him looking like Vision. It's only for a brief moment that whatever is controlling this, I think. Allows Vision to be like, hey, remember, this is what Vision actually looks like.
It's a warning.
I'm allowing him to look like this for you now.
Yeah, it's a warning.
Again, like because it comes up in this episode when Jimmy's calling through the radio to Wanda. That is disturbing Wanda's dream state, it being in this place.
Yeah,
this is a sweet lullaby that she's allowing herself to believe. But she can be shaken out of it, and she can be reminded of the reality that exists beyond the television.
She just doesn't want to.
She just doesn't want to.
Yeah.
So I don't think that she has Vision's corpse. I don't think that she's doing this. She certainly didn't create Westview. I'll put that out.
I hate to bring up this terrible comic, but like it's not One More Day, but it is a One More Day scenario where someone's making a deal with a powerful demonic figure or just some powerful figure. So there's a character called Master Pandemonium, and he's the actual demon who like birthed like the twins, like, and he's like kind of like a smaller character, but Mephisto has intertwined with Wanda, so that's why people are thinking it is Mephisto, but also could be Master Pandemonium. He's another demon. I do think it is a magical demon monster from hell or something. I saw people saying it was Doctor Doom. You guys are crazy. It's not Doctor Doom. You guys are crazy.
Can I just say real quickly, Sparks, I cannot believe you were right about who the beekeeper was.
Just a sword guy?
Just a sword guy in a hazmat suit who showed up as a beekeeper in Westview.
I told you. Like they're gonna throw you.
Yeah.
That is definition of the fact that this show is throwing us a whole lot of red herrings. So I don't believe dick about the fact that Wanda is the potentially in control of this, because I'm like, that's just misdirection, baby. He's man, that guy was crawling through that sewer for a while. But yeah,
so many bees.
Once you are in the world, you are adapted into the world. So all the rest of that didn't mean diddly squat.
Yeah.
Or Herb. There were rumblings like, oh, the only other Herb in Marvel Comics is the High Evolutionary. Not even his real name.
Nope, none of those characters are.
So importantly, let's talk about that. Which is, I was wrong. Nobody is a S.W.O.R.D agent in there. They're all the actual people that lived in Westview. They are the town of Westview,
except for Agnes.
Except no one can identify Agnes
because she's
yet
a demon lady.
So we'll see about that.
This literally means nothing, but the Instagram tag, if you do Agnes, she has a little winking face. Bitch, you a villain. Bitch, you a villain. Give me a break. Come on.
So another point of like, Wanda's not in control of this. When Jimmy and Darcy and all of them are watching things when they're trying to contact her through the radio, or the moment with Monica being shoved out, the episode is clipped. And that's not Wanda. That's not Wanda editing that stuff out.
That's Mephisto editing the TV show.
That's somebody else. That's Agnes or whatever Agnes.
Oh my god! Imagine Agnes is in like a little editing booth in like the outside of town or something. Oh my god, that'd be so silly.
What if Mojo?
See, I like my X-Men brain says yes, but then I don't need a giant like ugly slug man to show up in episode 9 going.
I don't either. I don't either. But
but
when I saw the editing, I was like, Mojo does TV.
No, absolutely. Like it's like, what if? But like we're not there yet. Yeah.
No.
Man, I'm so convinced that it's Mephisto, guys. I just can't. It's so hard not for me. Like Jimmy freaking Woo wrote, "What do the hexagons mean?" It's a 6-sided shape, baby. 666 is the number of the beast. Jimmy, you know what that means. Like he's answering.
Well, he doesn't because
he doesn't.
But he knows it's an important question.
Is Vision alive? Oh,
I love him writing up the board of like what the audience is thinking. I'm like, great, thank you, Jimmy.
I do really want. I just want to go through like some. I think it's fun to just go through the lines that I really like when they first see the thing is like, is that? I think so. He's not. I understand it's been a rough couple of years, but he's dead, right? Not blipped, dead.
Yeah.
It's like, you mean the universe made a sitcom based on 2 Avengers?
I mean, it's got good ratings.
I really love the comedy of them, like watching them have the babies, and you want one? And Jimmy's like, I've definitely thought about it. Give him a little. Oh, you mean a chip? Yeah.
A little Jimmy Woo with a badge.
No, all the stuff with
the Jimmy Darcy show now.
All the stuff with Darcy and Jimmy, I absolutely adore.
Me too.
But just like we said early, one of the things I love about this episode is we get to see what's going on with all the S.W.O.R.D agents. And then, of course, I mean, I know we probably said, oh my God, it is S.W.O.R.D. And then when I saw like the actual acronym for S.W.O.R.D, I'm like, yeah, comic books.
I like that they talk about the name change because it used to be called what it was in the comics. And then they changed it to Sentient Weapons. And then like Monica wasn't there to help usher in the new name. Real quick, there's like the new boss, like Tyler or something. Just a nice dude. He seems like a cool guy. Like he seems really nice, like a nice boss. You know what I mean? It's like he seems like a cool character. I want to see more of him. He seems nice. I like S.W.O.R.D agents. Coulson's gone. I need some cool man. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of someone's like, you know what? I'm kind of into like Jimmy Woo becoming the new Coulson. I'm like, I am too.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Please,
Jimmy Woo as new Coulson.
All the movies, please.
Yeah. Just pops up in every Phase 4 property somehow.
Put him in a Secret Invasion somehow. Give him a scene with Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good God. Him and Talos.
Yes.
Dude, oh my God. Him and Ben Menda would kill each other. Oh, man.
Just be like, just go to me and was like, hey, you want to come work for S.W.O.R.D? Ditch the FBI?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Reveal that Jimmy Woo's a Skrull.
I was thinking it. He's a good Skrull. Put him in that makeup.
He's one of Talos's team. Holy shit. I would love that so much. He's just weird enough. It works.
That's true. He is just weird enough.
Oh, man.
That was like I wanted to learn so much earthling things like after he met Scott, maybe. Yeah.
I've fallen back in love with the MCU. This episode was just like when Darcy shows up and Jimmy Woo is there doing a magic trick, and I'm like, man, like one of the things that I love about the MCU, it's not the big things are fun and cool, and we speculate like crazy about some of these big movies, but the scenes that the MCU does well that you always take away are scenes like when they're trying to lift Thor's hammer.
Character stuff.
The character stuff. These characters are so well defined and likable, and you just love seeing them. And so that's why people often say it's like, I just want to see where they're just getting coffee. Like, yeah, I do, because I love the characters so much.
That's the great thing. And then also, like, as we've seen over 23 movies, the bad thing, like when you focus so hard on the heroes, sometimes your villains suck. But I don't think that's always a bad thing. I'd rather have a great character that I follow all the way through than just a regular movie with a cool bad guy, you know?
Because I'll tell you what, if Steve Rogers wasn't so compelling, if Tony Stark wasn't so compelling, if Darcy, if Jimmy Woo, if Scott Lang, who cares? Any character, big or small, if none of them were compelling, I wouldn't keep coming back to this universe.
Absolutely.
I keep coming back because the characters because I want to see who's going to pop up next because I like them all, and I'm happy to see them when they show up.
And we're so far at a point where we have freaking random characters from a Thor movie and an Ant-Man movie showing up in your Wanda
side characters.
This is side characters of the TV show, guys. This is incredible. Like we couldn't get this 10 years ago. This one, it's amazing.
I mean, that was always the thing, like way back when we were sitting there and got the announcement about WandaVision. They're like, yeah, Kat Dennings is coming back.
What?
Randall Park is coming back. And we're all like, yo, what?
Yeah. Like, okay. I don't believe this.
So this tweet, I felt this tweet like crazy. It's from Lunwee88. I love how the kid from Captain Marvel, the FBI agent from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and the love interest sidekick from Thor are trying to figure out why the secondary villain from Age of Ultron can't get over the death of the lab assistant from the Iron Man trilogy.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
that's the show.
Yeah.
And people think this show's boring. You shut your mouth. What are you talking about? Yeah, man. Seeing seeing Wanda use her powers, and like again, like the TV show going to like just regular like Marvel movie mode. It's always cool. It's always scary. Wanda's real spooky. She's got some shit going on, and like Elizabeth Olsen's doing so good of like seeing like trying to control that damage.
She's doing a great job.
Yeah. And again, like Paul Bettany, like doing real good stuff at the end of this episode, like seeing like he's shaken by this, but he doesn't want to show that to Wanda. He's also a robot. And like, man, what's going on? This was great. Come on.
I just go back to like when he says we could leave and she says we can't. Like, why not? If she is doing this, why not?
She wants this so bad. She's willing to maybe do some bad things to get there. And I get that. Hopefully it's other people influencing her to get those stolen babies.
But that's why I keep going to that scene. Like that scene to me, the fact that she says she can't. Not that she won't, she can't. Yeah. Says to me that she is not doing this, or at least not didn't start this. She cannot go anywhere else because if she does, Vision is dead.
Yeah, it's either some type of blackmail or extortion, or just like, hey, like you wanted this, I can help you. And her desperation, she's like, hell yeah, you seem cool. Turns out to be a demon. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted?
Let's see. Did we miss anything? Yeah, we got the drones, we got the S.W.O.R.D man, we got the jump rope that's happening. Man,
I like that. That was funny.
Anytime a name, and I'm very guilty of this. Anytime someone brings up a name, they're like Agent Franklin, and everyone's like, oh my god, Franklin Richards, and I'm like, shut up, shut your mouth. What are you talking about? Like, be seeing a B-man and maybe associating with like a swarm guy, that's a little more realistic than, yo, what if the greatest superhuman on the planet is this random guy going through a sewer? Like, shut up. What are you talking about?
Now, I will say, S.W.O.R.D, I don't want this because I want the 70s adventurers. But whatever.
I saw a really great thread of how this could work really well.
Where S.W.O.R.D lost astronauts in space.
Yes.
Well, they came back.
Yeah.
In space, like,
There is. I'm in agreement with you. I do like the old school Fantastic Four idea. There are a lot of people who think that idea is a trope and it's right. And it's like, we've done that with Captain America. We've done that with Captain Marvel. We can't do it again. I disagree. It's a different way of doing it. But this is a way of doing it. They mention astronauts disappearing and stuff, and I'm like, that's their literally one line to fix it or to set it up. Like, if they wanted to do modern stuff, again, it's not what I want, but like,
I want the kids.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't want to start my Fantastic Four with them being young. Like we tried that, it didn't work. Sorry, Fan Four Stick.
Yeah, I would like it if the Fantastic Four showed up and they already had the kids.
100%. Yo, if they were totally just established, that'd be hella cool. I did see someone say, you know, what if the Fan Four Stick is the Ultimate Universe and Miles Teller is the maker? And I'm like, I don't hate it because I don't hate it because he's a jerk. I don't hate it at all, and that's making those connections. And I feel like Kevin Feige's like, oh, that would ruin them. It would ruin me. Oh man, speculation's fun. Speculation Vision, what a great show. Speculation
is fun. One of the things that the thing I like about doing this is because, you know, this is an echo chamber, and if anybody who watches this, it's whatever. But like the fact that we we don't go into this being like, this is exactly what this is, and if this and if it's not this, screw this show, or it's going this way and I hate this direction. Like what we do is we speculate the possibilities, and we never discount anyone's except for Ben's. No, I'm kidding. We never discount anything that any of us says, because at this point in the show, any one of our theories, whether or not we agree or not, could be what happens, and they could all be wrong.
And the show is just batshit crazy enough where like we've all been right and wrong about certain things.
I definitely had all you guys going, no, it's not some guy in a hazmat suit that turns into a beekeeper, and I'm like,
it's some guy.
I still think it's weird that he's just surrounded by a bunch of bees. That's not how bees don't just surround beekeepers. You got to be near a hive.
I get you.
I'm just saying.
I also don't know why a beekeeper would have
a jump rope.
The jump rope.
Also stupid, and I love it.
It's just like trying to make it fit.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Mephisto being like, I don't know what to do. Bees.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't plan for it, but that's pretty funny.
This guy looks like a beekeeper. Make him he's got a tether. It's a jump rope.
Yeah. The scuttlebutt. Yeah, the scuttlebutt is like the last 2 episodes are the big action set piece. Like that's the Marvel movie is at the end. So I'm super happy to have like 7 episodes of just continuing like this slow progression. From the trailers, we know like I thought this would be the Halloween episode. I think that is the next episode. And like I still think we're getting like an Office episode that we haven't seen. Like where it's gonna be like 90s like Friends, Office.
We're definitely getting an Office episode because Megan really wanted to watch the promo they released this week. And they showed it's like a mid-season promo.
Oh, okay.
And there's definitely a clip that's like
she's talking to the camera.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to. That's too juicy.
I only watch it because Megan really wanted to watch it when it popped up, and I'm like, all right, we'll do it.
There's going to be like a Vision zoom, and it's going to be like a Jim face, and I'm going to die. I will not be on next week's episode, you guys.
Yeah, I.
That's definitely, I think the
later on.
That's going to be like the last one. I think that's going to be the modern sitcom.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Okay, so just warning our audience and the people on this panel, there are massive leaks that have been leaked out for WandaVision. I have been avoiding them like crazy, so I've not seen anything. So be wary. The rumor on the street is that they will release 2 episodes this week because of that, though. So.
Oh, really? Oh, dang! Yeah. That sucks. That's a bummer. I mean, I'd love to watch 2 episodes personally, but whatever.
I will say that promo that we watched, being a mid-season promo, you don't have to watch it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It doesn't spoil anything.
However, I will say that like it only furthers it. Nothing is like there's new footage there, but nothing is something that's going to make you go like you've been spoiled or you have more answers about things. It's just providing more questions and an idea of what the rest of the show is going to look like as we're going.
Is there anything Mephisto-y?
No.
Hard to say.
Okay.
I think if there was, you'd have to like stop it and like really look into it.
Gotcha.
It really the only thing I think that it kind of presents is just kind of like a track of where Vision's headed as a character, but I won't talk about that because that's the only thing I think is close to a spoiler.
Gotcha.
But even then, I think that's just logical. I think the show has been projecting towards it, but I won't say it outright.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to point out there's one thing. Speaking of the beekeeper scene, when we watch it from this angle. Did any of you feel like Wanda's read on that no was different?
Yep.
Because I did. Yeah? Because when we see it in the second episode, it looks like she's afraid and says no.
Mm-hmm.
But in this one, she almost joyfully says no.
No.
Like, no.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Okay.
I'd swear it's a different take.
Yeah.
Like a whole different interpretation of it.
I think I could have sworn that too. Like the first time I first time I watched it, I felt like it was like, no, like hard stop. Let's pull this back. But this time she kind of did say like, yeah, no, you're not screwing this up for me, buddy.
That makes me wonder. So my point in that is that it makes me wonder if Wanda is not always Wanda.
No. I mean, she has been taken over by like Cthulhu creatures before, so like that is like where she gets a lot of the power. Because I'm
telling you guys, like I didn't go back and do it, but I feel like if you put the 2 side by side, they are 2 totally different like ways of saying no.
I believe it.
And energies. And the second one is really, again, like this episode is trying to convince you that Wanda is the bad thing. So I think it's lending credence to that. But I think what's happening is that S.W.O.R.D guy is just on the fringe enough that he can see that ain't Wanda. Like in the sense that like, yo, that was really dark. What? Rather than it being the TV show that Wanda believes she's in.
So I'm sure we'll find out either next episode or next time we go to like the S.W.O.R.D people. What happens to Agent Franklin? Does he just reverse into the tunnel and he just shows up in front of all the S.W.O.R D? He just goes, "Oh, where'd you come from, Agent?" Like
I think he got adapted into the town, or he's dead.
He's either dead or assimilated. He'll just show up and like, I'm an ice cream man. Oh boy.
I mean, that's what happened to Monica. Monica got in and she assimilated.
That's true. Very true.
I do have a question about so there's two Avengers here strapped in this town, which technically makes it an Avengers level threat. You know, however, we got the Army, we got FBI, and we got S.W.O.R.D. Yeah. Why hasn't there could not be Avengers to call, but would there? Well, who would they call at this point? Like Falcon,
Doctor Strange.
I mean,
nobody knows who Doctor Strange is.
Huh?
Nobody really knows who Doctor Strange is.
No, not true. Okay, let's go off the premise of Far From Home. Who does Peter say you should call? Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. She's off-world. Doctor Strange. Dealing with something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a fair point.
Oh, shit!
So what is Doctor Strange doing?
Yeah.
They know how to call him.
He's like in a multiverse, and it's got to be mad. I'm just guessing. That's a good point, because I did see that online of like, where are the Avengers? And I'm like, well, some of them are dead. Some of them are old. Some of them aren't even here anymore.
Well, you don't call Falcon and Winter Soldier.
You don't call Bucky. Yeah, I'm like, this isn't really an Avengers level threat yet.
Here's the one that I would argue, just based on like what they're setting up outside and investigating, and the relationship.
Hawkeye.
No.
Oh.
Smart Hulk.
Oh, Smoke.
Smart Hulk is the one where I kind of go, why isn't Smart Hulk called?
Yeah.
That is one where I'll go, wouldn't he? Like,
Mark Ruffalo shows up in a suit. What's up, guys?
At this moment, they think this is more technological than something that Doctor Strange would do.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Based on who they have camped out, and I'm like, and maybe Smart Hulk would be my call.
Isn't Doctor Strange in the show?
We don't. If he is, they haven't said.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know if I saw something or read something, but
I'm like 80% convinced.
I think he's in
he is.
I think he's in like the finale
because I'm like, there's got to be some kind of bridge towards the Doctor Strange film that we know is connected. So there's going to be something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like logically, yes, they know how to call him, and Doctor Strange would be who you'd call.
So this isn't the case. Did they find who the Doctor was when they put up names? Did they put up who the Doctor was who delivered the babies? Because people are speculating that Doctor Strange is the Doctor.
No, because we just stopped. Well, they might have, but we stopped seeing the board after.
Doctor Strange is the guy who delivers the babies, and again, that's just a comic thing. It doesn't matter. But people are like, "What if Doctor Strange got trapped?" And I'm like, I think that's too much now. No, it's too much.
The Doctor is clearly someone from the town because he says he can't escape. He is aware of the fact that the town has been taken over by something.
Yeah. I think it's people just like, even just like people just love their reach. It's fun.
Yeah. Also, like, they don't change their appearance, just what they're wearing.
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch. If Doctor Strange was in this, he would look like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
I don't think whatever entity is there would want to even dabble with having him inside of it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
If they could avoid it.
Hell yeah.
What if it's Dormammu? It's not, but like, can you imagine?
God.
I've come to bargain for your babies. Picking up from the baby
oh my God,
bin.
it's Dormammu's like ugly head, but he's got like a suit on from like a 1972. He's like, Wanda, give me those babies.
God,
that'd be awful.
All right, anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
Hell no. I love doubling the length of these episodes.
Yeah, they're fun. This has been love speculating this. So word on the street is 2 episodes are going to drop next week. I don't know if that's true. Disney may just like, hold the line. Yeah. Avoid leaks if you can. I think it's more fun that way anyway.
Absolutely.
So until then, guys, you can find us on the Fake Nerd Podcasts on all the social medias. FakeNerdPodcast.com is our website where you can find everything where we're at. We have other shows. If you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoy this stuff, make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. You can get all sorts of content, such as our Fake Nerd Book Club series, which we recorded a new episode coming up soon. Yes,
when we get to the Office style WandaVision episode, there'll be a camera crew?
I think we won't see them, but it'll be like The Office, where like the zooms will happen.
Well, but I mean, like that they talk to the camera crew.
Oh, it's true, they do.
Like, will there be somebody that she's like so consciously aware is filming that they actually have a conversation with them?
It's Pietro. He's the cameraman. That's a good question. I don't know about
That's
that
all
one.
He shows up for in one show is one of the camera guys pans over to the guy filming, and it's Pietro, and he's like, That's it.
Can't even.
Right, so our effective book club series, which we have just recorded a new episode, Little Char and the gang there. We have our Basement Arcade series and our new Basement Arcade pause menu series, which is a new episode. Our first episode of that is up now. Spider-Man PlayStation 4 discussion, and a new episode will be, I don't know what frequency you guys put them up, but you'll do that. And then we have that show, and then of course our Victor podcast show, which we do live every Sunday until the quarantine is over. Which, you know, judging by those restaurants in LA, never.
Oh my God, we were so busy today. I hate everyone.
Hey guys, stay home, wear mask, wear a Victor podcast mask. Yeah, this week we're Sparks, when does this go out?
Hopefully tomorrow.
Soon.
I'll do the same joke. Look, if you're watching this before we did the episode, or we are doing Psycho Gorman, the Shudder movie. If you're watching this after after Sunday, we had just done Psycho Gorman, so check that out. Every Sunday live shows, a lot of fun. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and until next time you see us, stay fake nerds. All right, I'll do it. I'm gonna do it again. Who wants an intro?
Me.
Do it.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Ugh.
Are we down? What's going on here? There we go. I thought something was weird. Okay. Welcome everyone to everyone's. Nope, not doing that. That's everyone twice. But I have an idea. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Nope, I said everyone twice again. How do you do an intro? Welcome back. Welcome. Okay, got it.
I got an idea. Okay.
He's got it.
He's got it.